Hello, Bjorn.
Hi, Bjorn. This is Levi calling from Sticks to Stones in Brisbane, Australia. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'm doing well. How's the interviews going so far? Everyone being polite?
Good. Yeah, everyone's being very polite, actually. And yeah, I mean, it's still it's noon now here, but it's kind of hard to get the English going in the morning. You know, you wake up and there's the first interview. So
Yeah.
But it's been going really well. So yeah, thanks for asking.
Yeah. First question, I'll just go right into it. With all the bullshit that's happening in the world with all these terrorist attacks, I'm just wondering, I know Lamb of God have cancelled a few dates and Five Finger Death Punch. Is that going to affect your tour schedule at all?
Not really. I mean, obviously, I would lie if I said that I'm not, worried. But
yeah.
We came to the conclusion. I mean, it's the security is so high right now in Europe, and I mean, obviously, it's still scary. But we feel that if we just cancel this tour, what's going to happen next year? It might as well happen 2 years from now. You never know. So there's no way you can really defend yourself from it, except just keep the show running, I guess. And I mean, not saying, or that being said, I mean, I definitely respect people canceling as well. I do understand, And,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we're also on a different level. Like we can't really afford, just canceling tours, And we just came off a direct support tour in North America to Soulfly, And when you're the direct support, you normally don't end up with, that much, money to live with. So that's another factor. We need to keep going. This is our job, and we're not going to let that affect us. As much as it scares us, we need to keep the show going.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. Have you done any shows since that attack happened?
No, none. That all happened in between, coming home from North America, and now we're embarking on the European tour starting Friday. So, yeah.
Yeah. You're going to be coming to Australia next year. I was lucky enough to catch you last time you were here. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a bloody awesome show. I had a great time, so be looking forward to hearing the new songs live.
Yeah.
How have the audience been taking the new songs anyway? Are they digging it?
Absolutely. Really well, I would say. And, it's always a matter of coming out of the studio. You're thinking like, how the hell am I going to be able to pull this off live, But we always do. And I'm so glad that we did this North American tour, and we only had 45 minutes to play, but we focused on the new album. We performed 5 songs from the new disc. So it was really exciting, and I loved performing these songs live. And I think we were really consistent on that whole tour, and very energetic. So I think it's going to be a hell of a tour, in Australia. I think it's going to be some really, really good shows.
Yeah, for sure. This is you've done a lot of albums now. You've been putting them out since '98. Does it get harder to put out albums after that many years? Like, is it harder to come up with ideas and do all that and keep doing the process?
I think we're in a really creative, kind of streak right now, and it's somehow it feels easier. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe because, we have become better songwriters, and then we can just, go for the feel rather than just, going riff by riff and kind of picture a song in its entirety rather than just, okay, does this riff match, does this match the next one, or what should I do? It's easier, to kind of tie everything together.
Yeah, I only just found out today you have another side project called the Night Flight Orchestra, and I had a listen today. It's really cool. Kind of reminds me of Rainbow and Deep Purple. Just wondering, how did that project come about, and how is it different to Soilwork?
Well, thanks for mentioning that. That's really cool that you get to hear that. It's kind of hard to find, I guess. It all came together when David came into the band, and we realized that we had share a common love for, mid-'70s classic rock up till beginning of the '80s, and we really bonded over that, and we just decided to form a band, And if you want to form like a, side project or like a side band or whatever, it might as well be something completely different, than what you're doing in your main band. So we did that and asked around, and we came to think about Charlie D'Angelo, who's also like a big fan of that kind of stuff. So, we found some really great people and great musicians to play with and have become our vacation band. It's kind of, it's very different from Soilwork, obviously, and I think I've developed as a singer a lot through that band, and I brought it with me to Soilwork as well, even though that's something completely different, So it's, it's a lot of fun, and I think you can hear that when you listen to it. We had so much fun recording it.
Yeah. What I've always liked about our Soilwork is there's a lot of bands that do the clean vocals and the guttural vocals, and I find some bands, when it comes to the clean singing, they don't do it so well, but you really nail it, you do it well, and I'm just wondering, do you have a preference with the vocal styles? Do you like singing better, or do you like the screaming as well?
Well, first of all, thanks for mentioning that. I do like both. I've managed to kind of make the transition smoother, if you will, because I feel that a lot of bands today, it's like either on or off. It's like scream vocals or it's clean vocals. But there's so much. I've found so many ways of expressing myself vocally, so I've kind of tied those styles together as well, and they're both very natural elements in our music, and it comes out very natural as well. And it used to be maybe that's like, okay, so we have a screamy verse, and then we have a chorus with clean vocals, and that's it. But now it's all over the place, and it's really interesting that I can still develop at this age. I'm 37 now, and I still feel that I'm growing as a singer, and I'm really grateful for that, and so it's also a great feeling, being in a band like this, being surrounded by musicians where you feel like we can do whatever we want, technically, and at the same time, it's never been about being technical for us. It's about the song, and it's about making albums. But that feeling is fantastic when you're surrounded by people that you can create whatever you want with. It's a really cool feeling.
Yeah, and I've noticed a lot in Australia, just in the last maybe 5 or 6 years, there's been a big influx of European bands we thought would never come down here. We've got you guys touring. We just had Children of Bodom, we had Nightwish. Is it easy for you guys to tour now? Is there more of a demand for you guys to come to Australia? And is there more fans here now than there were 10 years ago?
Possibly, yeah. We started at a pretty early stage as well. This is going to be our sixth tour in Australia, so that's really cool. And we came to Australia for the first time. I think it was in 2003, and back then there wasn't a lot of Scandinavian bands coming to Australia. So I guess we built up a pretty loyal fan base at a pretty early stage, and we've kept on making sense musically, and I think our fan base has grown a lot, and there's always a demand. Last time we toured Australia was only 2 years ago, so that's a really cool feeling. And as far as I know, the Ride Majestic ended up in the charts as well in Australia. And I think it was around number 60 or something.
That's pretty good,
if I'm not mistaken. So that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And as I said before, you've been doing it a long time. I'm sure it was like a struggle being a musician back in the days. It's not an easy way to live on the road. But do you find it more comfortable these days?
There's never going to be, let's face it, it's never going to really be any financial stability, But, there's definitely enough demand for us to be able to play whenever we want, and that's a really cool feeling that we can go just about anywhere in the world and people will show up. So that's definitely a privilege, and like we mentioned before, it has become easier to write songs as well. So we're in this really creative phase, which is awesome, and the demand is higher. But you definitely need to get out there and tour, and not just rely on album sales, because otherwise you'll get ruined in the end.
Yeah, and do you think for anyone out there listening that might be, good guitarist or good vocalist, do you think it's Is it hard to become a touring musician? Is it a lot of difficulties? Do you think there's still as much opportunity today as there were back in the days?
Well, it was different back then because albums were still selling. But then again, we've seen in the latest years that, sales have picked up, quite a bit again. And, there will always be room for music, I think, So I think it's safe to say that. So if you have dreams of starting a band, don't let that, industry bullshit hold you back. It's all about pursuing a dream, and if you really feel like creating music, do it. And it is a little bit of a rougher climate nowadays, and it's not necessarily the best bands are getting signed because there's so much. There's so many labels, so many bands getting signed, so it's hard to get through.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just a matter of being able to promote yourself. And I mean, kids nowadays are like way better than me at promoting themselves on social media and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's really good to hear your thoughts, man. And I know you got a few interviews, so I better let you go. But I'll be at the tour, and I'll be up the front row with my camera taking some photos, so I'll be able to put them on your Facebook page for you.
Very cool. Awesome.
No worries, man. I'll have a good one, Bjorn, and hope you enjoy all your interviews today.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for calling once again.
Okay, no, it's bye.